So we are discussing about the system refresh steps, right? So yesterday we have discussed what are the steps we need to perform on target system. Okay. Today we will discuss what are the steps we need to perform on source system. Ultimately, what we need to do, we need to take a backup in source system and we need to do a restore on target system. That is our goal, correct? So how we can take a backup in source system? We can take a backup using a PR tools or DB13 planning calendar transaction code, correct? And what are the different types of backups are there? We have an online backup and offline backup. There are two different types of backups are there, correct? One is online backup, another one is offline backup. We can take a backups using BR tools or DB13 planning calendar. Okay, so before taking a backup, we need to update one parameter file. We are talking about a data Oracle database relation. Okay, Oracle database only. Okay, so before taking a backup, we need to update one parameter file. That parameter file name is init.sid.sap. What is that? Init.sid.sap. Init SID. What is your SID? Init SID.sap. What is your SID? For example, SID is dev. Then the file name is init.dev.sap file. Where it will be located? It will be located in Oracle Home DBS directory. Okay, or if it is a 12c version, Oracle 12c version, then where it will be located? Oracle Home / prof prof directory. Okay, what we need to update in this profile parameter init.sid.sap, because what type of a backup you are taking, okay, and what is your root directory. Root directory is nothing but backup storing location. Backup storing location, where you are going to store your backup, the location, the path of your backup. And compression mode, are you going to take a compression mode, yes or no? Compression mode means whenever you have a backup, example 500 GB database is there, 500 GB database is there, then if you select compression mode yes, then what will happen? The 500 GB database will be compressed. Means the backup size will be reduced. It will compress the backup and it will store into the location where you have mentioned the backup path, means backup root directory. That is the compression mode. So it will compress the data and it will store where you have given a path. Okay, so how much it will compress? Around 1/3 it will compress. Okay, so these information if we maintain in parameter file, what parameter file? Init.sid.sap file. Why? Because whenever we are executing a backup through BR tools or DB13 planning calendar, what will happen? In the back end, it will read init.sid.sap file only. It will read the profile parameter. Which profile parameter? Init.sid.sap profile parameter. It will read. In that, what options you have given, which backup you have mentioned, where is the backup root directory, and is there any compression mode or not? So based on this, the backup will be executed. Okay, that's why we need to update init.sad.sap file before taking a backup. Whether you want an online backup or offline backup, which of backup you require. What is mean by online backup? Your SAP system and database system will be up and running, okay, and the backend parallelly backup will be executed. What is meant by offline backup? Your SAP system and database system will be that your SAP system will be shut down, okay, and your database also will be shut down, and your backup will be executed. Okay, and what is the difference between online backup and offline backup? Whenever you are taking an online backup, your system is up and running. Means in database level, log files will be generated. Those log files we call it as a archive log files or a arc directory. These archive log files will be stored in a or arc directory, correct? So it will keep.
We are not done, right? Oracle database.
Sorry.
Oracle database administration.
Oracle database administration.
We are not completed, right?
No, we have completed.
I mean, backup and restore everything.
Yes. Okay.
We did it practically or only theoretically?
In BR tools concept, I will show you the practically how through BR tools how we can take a backup. Okay. Got it? Hello.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, in online backup, the Aura arc files will be generated. Means log files. The log files is nothing but Aura arc files. Aura arc files will be generated. Okay. So where is Aura arc files will be stored in Aura arc directory. Okay. And if online backup means what? Everything will be shut down. SAP and database will be shut down. So there is no log files will be generated. Log files is nothing but ORARC files. So there is no ORARC files will be generated in online backup. Sorry, in offline backup. Okay. See, this is my system. Now I'm executing online backup. Okay. When I have executed online backup, 9 a.m. Okay. Now, and the backup has been taken 3 hours, for example. Means backup has been completed 10, 11, 12. Correct? 12 p.m. This is 9 a.m. This is 12 p.m. Right? So here I have executed a backup. Here my backup has been completed. Before 9 to 12, 3 hours time is there, right? So this is online backup. So in between 9 to 12, okay, there are log files has been generated. Those log files will be stored in a ORARC directory, right? So whenever online backup has been completed at 12 p.m. So this 12 p.m. backup I'm restoring into another system, target system. This backup I am restoring. Restore. So whenever I am restoring, what about between 9 to 12 archive files? Where is the archive files? So these archive files also I need to restore here. Right? These files also I need to restore. Got it? So then only my system is consistency state. Okay? Whenever you have done online backup, you need to execute, you need to restore ORARC files also. Log files is nothing but archive files. These archive files also we need to restore in the target system. Then only our system will be consistency state. Okay. For example, if it is an offline backup, means 9 a.m. the system has been shut down, SAP has been shut down, database has been shut down, so there is no archive files has been generated, right? If it is shut down, so we have taken a backup and we have done a restore. So there is no concept here or are files restore in offline backup. Okay. Now, whenever we have executed backup through BR tools, I will show you practically where we can take a backup, in which options we can take a backup in BR tools. Okay. So once we have done a backup, the backup file will be generated. The backup file will be generated and the backup file will be stored in SAP backup directory. SAP backup directory. Okay, SAP backup directory. And the backup name will be some random name, it will take some random name, .and or AFD. AND or AFD means if it is online backup, AND will become. AND means online disk backup. AFD means offline disk backup. Okay, online disk backup and offline disk backup. AND, online disk backup. AFD, offline disk backup. And the file name will be random name. Okay, .and or .afd. Okay, 1 second. Yeah, where we are. So backup will be stored in SAP backup folder, and the backup name will be some random name .and. It's an online disk backup, and .afd is an offline disk backup. Okay, and once backup has been completed, okay, once backup has been completed, and we required a control file of the source system also. Why? Because the control file, it contains the control file, it contains the state of information of my backup, correct? So what is the log sequence number? Okay, what is the log sequence number, and what is the ORARC, how many ORARC files are generated, the ORARC sequence number. Okay, so all the database related state of database information will be stored in control file, right? So if you are restore using only backup, it will not restore. We require a control file also. Source system control file also we require, correct? So the source system control file we need to generate in source system, and you have to take a copy of control file from source system to target system. Okay, first we'll see how to generate a control file in our source system. First of all, you need to log into the SQL Plus. You need to connect to the SQL Plus. SQL Plus /s is DBA. Go to, first we need to connect with Vora SID, user ID. Vora SID means Vora DEV. Okay, then once you logged in with Vora DEV user, then SQL Plus /as sysdba. Okay, then you will get SQL prompt, correct? SQL prompt. Then you will get a SQL prompt. So here you need to execute one command: alter database backup control file to trace. This is the command to generate a SQL file. Sorry, control file. To generate a control file. What is the command? Alter database, alter space database space backup space control file space to space trace. Okay, alter database backup control file to trace, and exit. So whenever you executed this statement, then the control file will be generated, and the control file will be stored in this location, SAP trace under user trace folder. Oracle SID, this is SID. Okay, we'll remove this. Oracle SID, SAP trace user trace folder. Okay, a trace file will be created in this location, and what is this name? Control.sql. So SQL the control file will be generated in SAP trace user trace folder. Okay, so now we need to copy this generated control file from the source system to target system. Source system is our production system, target system is our quality system, correct? Copy the control file, right? So this control file is related to source system only, not a target system related. Got my point? Why? Because you have generated the control file in source system, so it contains source system SID. source system information. Why? Because we have a different SIDs between source system and target system, correct? So what we need to do is first take a copy which control file has been generated, take a copy from source system to target system, and you need to edit some files, some lines. You need to edit some lines in that control file. Why? Because we have a source system information in that control file, because target system is different. Target system SID is different, correct? Target system SID is different. So what we need to do is these you need to remember actually. So in control file, remove the lines prior, create control file. Okay, you need to remove, create control file, the prior lines, all the lines you need to remove this, and you need to change the word reuse to set, reuse to set. And how we can edit the control file? How we can edit? If it is a Unix, using a VI editor, or if it is Windows, through Notepad we can do it. Okay, and one more, no reset logs to reset logs, no reset logs to reset logs. This is, you need to change it, and remove the lines after following character set equals to set UTF-8. After character set UTF-8, what are the lines are there? You need to remove all the lines, and you need to replace the SID also, and we need to change the SID. How we can remove? How we can change the SID? Using this command. Using this command, I will show you in practically how we can edit through VI editor. Okay, / %s prd/qsg means what it is. What it means, the PRD SID will be changed to QAS globally. Globally means in control file where PRD SID is there, the PRD SID will be changed to QAS. Okay, so this is, we need to update in control file. So this we have done in target system only, because the control file has been copied from the source system to target system. This is main important, control file edition. Okay, now I have a backup file copied from source system to target system, and I have control file also copied from source system to target system, and I have changed. SID has been changed, and I have removed some lines also. Okay, now backup file is there, control file is there. Now what we need to do in target system, this is my target system, right? In target system, first you need to shut down your SAP and Oracle. First you need to shut down your SAP and Oracle, all the services should be shut down. Next, when we are restoring Oracle database, right? So Oracle database, we have a, this is the database structure, correct? SAP data 1, data 2, data 3, data 4, right? And orig log A, orig log B, mirror log A, mirror log B, correct? So what are the data structures are there? In that database data structure, remove only files only, not a directories. Only files we need to remove. For example, see here, Oracle SAP data home means Oracle SID, SAP data 1, sysocs is my table space. Sysocs is one table space, and here slash one data file is there, like sysocs.dbf. This is a file, for example. Like this, we have .dbf files are there. .dbf files are there. So you need to remove only files only. You need to remove only files, not a directories. See, these all are the directories. Don't delete any directory. Only delete files only. Where we are performing this action, we are performing this action in target system, not a source system. Okay. So in target system, before restoring, what we need to do? Before restoring, first shut down SAP, shut down Oracle, and delete Oracle database related files only, not SAP related data, not SAP related files. Got my point? We are not touching SAP, we are touching only database. So delete only database related files, where in SAP data 1, data 2, data 3, data 4, okay, oric log A, oric log B, mirror log A, mirror log B, all files only you need to remove, not a directories. Why we are removing? Why only files we are removing? Any idea?
When we put backup, it will replace with production systems, right?
So whenever we are doing a restore using a source system backup, so it will restore source system files, data files, correct? Getting my point?
Yeah.
Source system database files will be restored in this directory. So that's why target system we are removing data files only files. Okay. So now I have cleared my database structure files. Now I am ready to use a restore command. For restore, what we require? Backup file is required. So and control file is required. And target location, we need to clear all the files, database related files. And now we can execute a restore command. What is the restore command? You can execute this restore command using BR tools, or directly you can execute this command. What is this command? BR restore space -m full space -b and our backup file name. Where is the backup file name? Here. Whenever I have done a backup, the backup file will be generated, right? So this is my backup file .and or .afd. Backup file name space -d space disk space -c. This is my restore command. Once you executed this restore in target system, we are logged in with Aura SID only, Aura SID user ID only. So we are performing all these steps with Aura SID user. Once you have done, then what will happen? The restore will be started. Okay. Once restore has been completed, again delete control files under these directories that comes after restoration. See, actually in database architecture we discussed control file will be stored in a 3 different locations in a secure purpose. Okay, and the control file in 3 locations, the control file will be updated at a time. Who will update? My Oracle database will update. And what is the activities are performing means the control file will maintain that information, right? So where is the 3 locations? Oracle data home, oric log A, control, Oracle Data Home, Origlock B, control. SAP Data Home, not, see, this is Oracle Data Home, not SAP Data Home. By mistake I have written. Oracle Data Home, SAP Data 1, control directory. So in these three locations, after restore, why we are deleting is, in these three locations, I got source system control file only. It has been restored source system control file. So I will not use source system control file. So for that purpose, I'm deleting the control file here, because after restore, I'm deleting here. After restore means what? After restore, I got source system control files in these three locations. So that's why I'm deleting these three files. Okay. Now I have deleted. Next, after we need to do, we have created a control file in the source system and copied into the target system. Previously we have created, right, control file, and we have copied into the target system, correct? After that we have changed some additions also, correct? This one we have removed some lines and we have changed the SID also, correct? Now what you need to do is, now we need to generate the control file in target system. We don't have a control file till now in target system, correct? So for that, start Oracle services, go to the save control file location where you have saved control file. You have taken a copy from source system to target system, correct? In which location you have saved that control file, go to that location and start your SAP in mount phase only. Start your SAP in mount phase only. Why? Because in Oracle database architecture we have discussed start, stop, mount phases, right? In start we have a phases, in shutdown also we have some phases. Mount, no mount, open, shutdown immediate, shutdown normal, shutdown abort, right? So control file will be created in a mount phase only. So that's why we are starting our database in mount phase. For that, what we need to do, first we need to connect to the SQL using this command, SQL plus /sysdba. Then you will get a SQL prompt. Then you can use a startup mount command. Means the database will be startup in mount phase only. Okay. Next, you need to generate the control file. How we can generate the control file? We already know some location where I have copied the control file from source system to target system, right? So in that location only I have executed, I have started my database in mount phase. There I am executing @control.sql @control.sql, right? So whenever you have given this command, control file will be generated here. Control file will be created. Target control file. Target system control file has been created now. Okay. Now, what we need to do after restore? After restore, we need to do a recovery. What is mean by recovery? What are the archive files has been generated? These archive files also should be restored. This is nothing but a recovery. Restore has been completed. Now recovery we need to do. Why? Because we are doing an online backup restore. For online backup restore, we need to do a recovery also. For offline backup restore, not required a recovery because there is no Aura arc files will be generated. So recovery is not required. For that recovery, what we need to do? Copy all archive log files from source system to target system in Aura arc directory. Okay. Here in source system, Aura arc files will be generated, correct? So these Aura arc files will be stored in a Aura arc directory. So copy all these files. For example, 100 archive files are generated between 9 to 12 p.m. So these 100 archive files you need to copy into target location. In target location where same location or arc directory only. You need to copy all these files from source system to target system. You need to take a copy. Got it? Once you have done, now what you need to do is you need to change the SID. Here archive files contains source system SID only. Now you need to change the target SID. Change to target SID. Why? Because this Aura arc files are source system related, not a target system related. So this Aura arc files contains source system SID only. Every file will contain a source system SID. How Aura arc file, some random name and some number, okay, dot SID dot some dbf, okay. So this SID you need to change it. Where? In the target location. Once you taken a copy from source system to target system, here you need to change your SID. Okay. You need to change the SID. That's it. Then you can fire recovery command. What is the recovery command? This is the recovery command. Recover. In recover also, we are in startup mount phase only. Still we are in startup mount phase only. In startup mount phase, in mount phase only, we can generate a control file and we can do a recovery, right? So that command is recover database using backup control file until cancel. Recover database using backup control file until cancel. Then what will happen? In target Aura arc directory, in target system Aura arc directory, how many archive files are there? How many archive files are there? 100, right? So here 100 are generated, right? So these 100 archive files will be applied into the system. These 100 archive files will be applied into the system. Once 100 archive files are applied into the system, then you can see a message, recovery has been completed successfully. Okay. Here one more point. The archive files having a numbers also, like 1, 2, 3, like that up to 100, because 100 archive files are there. Now I have copied archive files. Here one archive file is missing. The number is 50. 50 was not there here. Okay. So whenever I am doing a recovery here, whenever I've executed recovery command, this command, what it will do? It will apply sequence wise 1, 2, 3 up to 49 it will apply. Next it required a 50 file, right? 50 archive file, but in this list there is no 50, correct? So here the recovery will be stopped. The recovery will be stopped and it will ask you archive file 50 is required. It is not there in this location. So what we need to do? We need to check this 50th archive file in the source system, where it is in Aura arc directory. If it is, it might be missed out. So again, you need to take a copy of 50th archive file from Aura arc directory to Aura arc directory. Okay. Again, you need to execute this command. Then what will happen? It will check the 50th archive file. Yes, it got it from Aura arc directory. Then it will execute. It will restore. After that, it will restore 51, 52, 53 up to 100. Okay, so once the 100 archive files are restored, then you will get a message, restore has been completed successfully. Okay, once recovery has been completed successfully, then only you need to open your database. Don't open your database if you're not performed successfully restore. Okay, once if you open a database, if your database has been opened, then you cannot do anything. Again, you need to come from scratch means what? Again, you need to restore all the database, and again you need to perform a recovery, right? So database open is very important point. Before opening your database, you need to cross check whether restore has been completed, recovery has been completed, all the archive files has been restored or not. Okay, every activity has been completed or not. So database open is the last step. Once you open a database, you cannot do anything. Restore you cannot do. Recovery you cannot do. Control file generation you cannot do. Nothing will be done. Okay. So once recovery has been completed successfully, then we can do a database open. How? Using this command: alter database open reset logs. Alter database open reset logs. Got it? Now what happened? My restore has been completed, recovery has been completed. Okay, now I'm ready to start my SAP, and I'm ready to start my SAP because already database already started here. See here, already database is open means what? Already database has been started. Here already we started, right? Startup, but phases wise. First mount phase it has been started, and the last it has been opened. So my database is started. Now I am ready to start my SAP. So before starting SAP, what we need to do is we have a background work process parameter file in instance profile, correct? In instance profile, background work process numbers are there. How many background work processes are there? 4, 5, 10, right? So that background work process we need to change it to 0. For example, background work process means number of background work processes are 5, for example. So we need to change it to 0. We need to change it to 0. Why? Because I have done a source system restore into the target system. So whenever my SAP has been started here, source system related background jobs will be fired automatically in target system. If you start your SAP, source system background jobs will be fired in target system. I don't want run source system background jobs in target system. So that's why if I stop my background jobs, source system background jobs in target system, then what is the how I can do? Before starting SAP, I need to change the number of background work process equals to 0 in instance profile. Then I can start my SAP. Okay. Before starting SAP, what I am doing? I am completely shutdowning my database, and I am starting my listener. Now I am starting my SAP and database. Okay. Once my SAP and database has been started, no background jobs will be fired here. Why? Because I have 0, I have changed the 0, number of background processes are 0. So there is no background work processes here. So there is no background work process means what? No background job will be started, right? So that's why to stop source system background jobs execution into the target system, I have performed this activity, this line. I have changed number of background process equals to 0 in instance profile. Okay. Now, once my SAP and database has been started, now you can check the SICK. SICK means what? Consistency check. Okay. And after that, in target system, we have taken some exports in through transport requests, right? RFCs, printers, and user master record, correct? So those transport requests already released at the time of export into the target system, right? Now you need to import those transport requests into the target system, right? User master record, I have taken a export into the transport request. So if I imported same transport request into the target system, then I will get quality system users again. I will get back, right? So what are the transport requests you have created before starting a target system refresh in the target system? Those transports you need to import here, right? And you need to apply license also. Why we need to apply license? Because this contains the source system information. Source system has been restored here. So this system license has been deleted here, right? So again we need to apply a license for this system. How we can apply? Go to service marketplace. Previously you already applied, correct? Whenever you have installed at the first time, the license has been installed, correct? So that license, same license you can download from the service marketplace, and same license you can apply it here. Okay. And what are the screenshots you have taken in target system? Like logon groups, how many instance list are there, and what is the operation modes are there. So all the screenshots you can cross check here. And the client settings, SCC4 client settings, all the screenshot you can cross check, and if required you can change it. Okay. And up to here our restore has been completed, restore, and the system is up and running. Okay. Now check for validations. Now we can send this information to the client and they will do some validations. Once the client performed, the validation has been completed successfully, then we can unlock the users. We have locked, right? So we can unlock the users, right? And after that we can change work process again to the old value. Okay, before changing, which value is there? The same old value we need to revert back, and we need to restart our SAP. Then we can release the system to the users. Okay. So this is what system refresh activity. Any doubts? Okay. Tomorrow we'll meet same time and we'll discuss the next topic. Got it?